Hi, my name is Andi, and I love reading love stories, but only when they make sense. Like, I need to feel the spark through the pages. I need to understand how their connection builds up. And I need the characters to earn their love, either through internal or external obstacles. Today I brought you a few book recommendations which fulfill this criteria of an enjoyable romance read, in my humble opinion. I put this on a thumbnail, but you will see that I won't have any of the usual authors mentioned on my list that you can expect from a video like this. Let me give you a quick rundown on why exactly. Starting with Emily Henry, I've read Beach Read and Book Lovers from her, and DNF'd You and Me on Vacation and Happy Place. The first two books were okay, but they were not really memorable for me. I cannot name you a single character or memorable scene. The romantic chemistry didn't really impress me, and I feel like her characters were very archetypical in a movie-like way, but didn't feel like real people. I kind of understand why many people like her books, but they just don't hit the spot for me. I could never get really invested in her stories. Ali Hazelwood. Another big romance writer. I've read The Love Hypothesis back in the days, also read Checkmate and Bride from her, and DNF, Deep End and Problematic Summer Romance. Out of everything Checkmate I actually liked, both the chess setting and the romance build-up. But in general, my issue with her books lies with the heavy reliance on tropes, and I especially cannot stand miscommunication used as a source of conflict. Her female main characters also sort of blend together. They don't feel unique or even likable to me a lot of the time. Abby Jimenez. Here I'd preface not including any works from her by saying that I've only read Just for the Summer, and I thought that her characters and their struggles were really strong, but the romance was actually the weakest part of the plot. I've never tried any of her other works, so if you have any recommendations for me, let me know. Now that we talked about the authors who are not on the list, let's see the ones who did make my list for contemporary romance book recommendations. For me, Talia Hibbert was the first author who made me realize that I can enjoy contemporary romance stories when they are done well. Her characters have charm, relatable inner monologues, and the love story build-up is always a little awkward, a little sweet, with great emotional depth. Within the Brown Sisters series, my favorite is actually the third book, titled Act Your Age, Evie Brown, which I accidentally read after the first book, but it still worked because they are not sequels, but connected standalones. In that one, we follow Evie, the youngest sister out of the three, who is feeling a little bit lost in life, but she also has a lot of drive to tackle any kind of challenges in front of her. She tackles the challenge in front of her so well that she ends up hitting someone with her car. The someone turns out to be Jacob Vane, a stoic owner of a little bed and breakfast establishment who now needs her help to keep the place running. This one was so funny. I loved how Evie's character was like a whirlwind Jacob was not prepared for, but it was also realistically done how she earned his respect and his heart over the course of the plot. If you like cozy fantasy featuring, running an establishment and a dash of mischief paired with good intentions and want to branch out into contemporary romance, this is the book for you. A book that's similar to Act Your Age, Evie Brown, I have reread multiple times, and that's rare for me by the way, is Red, White and Royal Blue. Every time I read this, I am so invested in not only their love story, but the overarching political plotline as well. In case you somehow never heard about the plot, it is a fictional love story between Alex, the first son of the United States, and Henry, the Prince of Wales, as they go from a public feud to a secret romance. It's sweet, it's funny. This story makes you care about not only the main characters, but the side characters as well, which is again a good sign in a contemporary romance book. I'm a sucker for stories where external obstacles keep the characters apart, and you could tell based on the premise that this one is just brimming with potential. If you are somehow still hesitating to pick it up, This is your sign to do it, and do it soon. Putting together this list made me realize that I actually don't own a lot of physical copies of contemporary romance books, but this one is the exception, titled Better Than the Movies. You can already get the vibe from the cover. It's a young adult rom-com where Liz, our main character, tries to get the attention of her crush and enlists the help of her next-door neighbor named Wes. This reads like a guilty pleasure rom-com movie as they hatch their, frankly speaking, cheesy plans, and of course they grow closer during the course of the plot. I fully get the criticism of Liz, her being annoying or cringy at times, but to be honest, since this is a young adult story, it didn't bother me all that much. And Wes was such a green flag character, I had a lot of fun watching their romance develop. I believe there's a sequel titled Nothing Like the Movies, but I never felt the urge to pick that one up. You can read this as a standalone too, and the story feels finished. Next, I want to talk about Heated Rivalry because I feel like I had a unique experience with it. I read it first back in 2023, rated it 4.5 stars because I enjoyed the whole rivals to lovers setup and, of course, the external obstacles that made them earn their love, but that was about it. This time I watched the series parallel to rereading the book, and wow, it gave a whole new meaning to it. I was so invested, so focused on the emotional depth this time, both for Shane and Ilya, and basically on all of the things they go through and how they find their favorite person in each other. One thing for sure, the actors did an amazing job bringing the characters to life. Did I talk about the plot? Okay, in a nutshell, it's a queer hokey romance between two rival players, but behind all of that is my favorite storytelling element, which is two highly competent people finding understanding in each other. It is done beautifully. There is yearning, there is emotional depth, and the whole roller coaster of emotions. I didn't expect it, but this reading experience brought me so much joy, so I had to include it as a recommendation. Best enjoyed together with the TV series, in my opinion. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about a book which I'm still reading. I'm at like 70% or so, but it has the potential to become a new favorite contemporary romance story for me. Well Met is set in a small town which is preparing their own small Renaissance fair. The main character, Emily, is spending a summer helping her sister when she gets roped into volunteering for the fair. And she immediately decides that she doesn't like the grumpy main organizer, Simon. How is this a romance story? Well, sparks start to fly as soon as they are in character, and they find themselves flirting as the tavern wench and the charismatic pirate. Their romance is flirty, sweet, and heartwarming, and it reads fairly quick with no unnecessary drama or pacing issues. This book gets bonus points for portraying a male character who is passionate, with hidden emotional depth and a vulnerable side. Actually, in that sense, he's quite similar to Jacob from Act Your Age, Evie Brown, so no wonder that both books made it onto my list. So these are 5 contemporary romance books I wholeheartedly recommend as a picky reader. Let me know if you have read any of them and if you've liked them. I'm always curious to hear about others' reading experiences. See you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye!